Welcome to Backyard BBQ Pit, Episode 3. In this episode, we're going to show you how to make some authentic Mexican street tacos. We're going to show you how to actually make some homemade guacamole. We're also going to show you how to make some authentic Charo Beans. And we're going to show you how to make a frozen, non-alcoholic virgin margarita. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. In this segment, we're going to show you how to make some authentic Charo Beans. We're going to start off with a few ingredients. Those ingredients include a can of pinto beans, a can of diced tomatoes, an onion, a jalapeno, cilantro, and some pinto bean seasoning. So we'll go ahead and get started. So the very first thing we want to do is we want to slice our onion. So we'll go ahead and slice some of our onion. And we're going to slice a little bit of our onion here. And then we're also going to slice some jalapeno. One whole jalapeno. And you're going to leave the seeds in the jalapeno. You're not going to take out the seeds. You're going to leave the seeds. So we'll go ahead and chop the jalapeno in fine pieces. Go. One more set. Alright, so we've got our jalapeno and we've got our onion already chopped up. I've got a hot plate here ready and connected, and we're going to go ahead and saute the onions for the onions and the jalapenos until they're tender and soft. We're going to go ahead and add some oil. We're going to add some olive oil to the pot. There we go. And we're going to actually pour our onions and our jalapenos. There we go. Alrighty. So we've got that in the pot. And what we've done is we've taken our pinto beans out of the can. And we've got these in a bowl. And we've got our diced tomatoes as well. So we're going to let the onions and the jalapeno soften up. And then we're going to go ahead and pour the pinto beans. And we're going to pour the diced tomatoes, and we're actually going to chop some cilantro, and we're going to add some pinto bean seasoning to mix it all up, and then it's going to simmer for about 30 minutes. When we come back, we're going to go ahead and show you that process. Alrighty folks, welcome back. And we're going to go ahead and get started here. So the very first thing we're going to do, the onions and jalapenos have been sauteing here for a few minutes. We're going to go ahead and start by actually pouring the pinto beans that we've taken out of the can. So we'll go ahead and pour the pinto beans first. Alrighty. And then we're going to follow that up with pouring the diced tomatoes in. Alrighty. And then we're going to go ahead and add a cup of water. And we're also going to add the chopped cilantro that I've actually chopped here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And we're going to go ahead and mix it all up. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some garlic powder. And we're going to add some pinto bean seasoning. Typically I put in about a tablespoon of pinto bean seasoning. Obviously you can add as much as you want, but I typically add about a tablespoon. So that's about a tablespoon right here. Okay, so this is all mixed in together, and we'll let that simmer for about 30 minutes. Folks, as you see right here, the actual mixture is in the pot. You've got your beans, you've got your cilantro, you've got your onions, you've got your jalapenos. We've added some garlic powder, and we've also added some pinto bean seasoning. We're going to let these simmer for about 30 minutes, and then they're going to be ready to serve. Folks, as you can see, our Charo beans have been simmering for about 15 minutes. They look super, super delicious. I've added a little bit of salt as well, just to taste, but these are almost ready. We're going to let them cook for another 15 minutes, and they'll be ready. Welcome back, folks. In this segment, we're going to show you how to make a great tasting guacamole, because there's nothing like Mexican street tacos with guacamole. For this recipe, we're going to go ahead and use a medium Hass avocado. We're going to use some lime. We're going to add some coriander powder, some salt, some onion powder, and some garlic powder, and we're going to mix it all together, and then we're going to put it in the actual refrigerator to chill. So let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and slice open the avocado. Alrighty, and then you're going to give it a little twist, and it's going to come apart just like that. So then, to take out the pit, you take your knife and you're going to go just like this on it, and twist, and the pit comes out. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a bowl, and we're actually going to spoon this avocado out, just like this, nice and clean. You see how nothing stays behind? And then we're going to do the same thing for the second half. There we go, nice and clean. Alrighty, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a fork and we're going to mush it down, just like this. Just mush it down a little bit. Alrighty, and then we're going to take a lime and we're going to slice it in half. And then we're going to use a lime squeezer to actually squeeze out all the lime juice. Just like that. You see how all that lime juice is coming out? And we're going to go ahead and do the other half. Just like that. So once we've got the avocado and the lime juice, then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use some powdered coriander. You can actually buy the store-bought mix, but this is a way to actually make the mix from scratch. So we're going to pour some coriander. We're going to get some onion powder. We're going to get some garlic powder. And then we're going to throw in some salt. Little dashes of salt. And we're going to take our spoon and we're going to mix all this together. You want to mix it until you don't see any more coriander powder. Alrighty, there it is, folks. There is your instant guacamole. In this segment, we're going to show you how to start making some Mexican street tacos. For the main ingredient, we're going to use fajitas. For those of you that are unfamiliar with fajitas, they're actually butterflied skirt steaks. They're the bottom portion of the cow that in the past typically was actually thrown away because they were considered to be inferior parts of meat. But as the 1800s rolled along, Mexican charos actually cooked fajitas and specialized them in making them tender. So we're going to go ahead and show you how to actually cook fajitas in this segment. So to start off, we're going to actually take out our skirt steak and we're going to take it out of the bag. I got this from the local butcher shop. Go ahead and open it. And what we're going to do is we're going to season the fajita mix. Actually, these fajitas come pre-seasoned, but I'm actually going to add a few extra ingredients to give it a great tasting taste. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to use some store-bought fajita seasoning. Like I said, it came pre-seasoned, but I actually like my meat really seasoned well. So I'm going to go ahead and pour some fajita spice. And then I've got this red fajita mix as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pour that as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some garlic powder. And then I'm going to add some onion powder. And then I'm going to add some ground cumin. Not too much because ground cumin is actually very strong. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a little dash of salt for taste. And when we come back, we're going to put these on the grill. So stay tuned. Welcome back. We've got our fajitas actually seasoned. We've got our actual Presto griddle ready to go. And we're going to go ahead and lay these fajitas to start grilling. So we're going to go ahead and take our fajitas and we're going to put them on the Presto grill just like that. And as you recall, I only seasoned one side. What I'm going to go ahead and do on this side is I'm just going to actually just pour a little bit of fajita seasoning. I'm not going to go ahead and add the other spices because I think they've got enough spices already. So as you can see here, the fajitas are actually grilling. Also, if you can see, our beans are actually ready as well. They are nice and tender. The vegetables are tender. These are ready to be served. Let's go ahead and turn back our focus on the fajitas here. And as you can see, they're grilling. They look delicious. Alrighty folks, welcome back. Our fajitas are actually almost done grilling. We're going to go ahead and take them out and we're going to put them on the cutting board. And we're going to show you how to actually slice these. There's a certain method for doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the smaller piece here. And we're going to take it out and I'm going to go ahead and, like I told you, we're going to cut these into strips. And that's so that it is easier to actually put them in a taco. So as you can see right here, I'm cutting these into nice thin strips. See how they're falling apart? They're nice and tender. This is what actually a fajita should look like as it's coming off the grill. It should fall apart. So we're going to go ahead and place these back on the grill. Okay. Oh, they taste really good. So I'm going to go ahead and take the bigger piece and do the same thing. You always want to slice these against the grain. So we're going to go ahead and slice these out. See how tender they are? They're tender and juicy. Now you can make them however way you want. Some people like them well done, some people like them medium well. I definitely don't recommend eating them rare, but definitely I prefer them with a little pink. Some people don't. But nevertheless, when I put them back on the grill, they're going to go ahead and finish off completely cooking. So that shouldn't be too much of an issue. There we go. They're getting all nice and sliced up. See how tender they are? And this is just with a basic griddle. It's not even a charcoal grill. If you season them right and you let them cook properly, you can actually fool anybody into thinking you slaved hours actually grilling these. Alrighty, they're sliced. They taste really, really good. I'm going to put these back on the grill. Let these cook. Place these tortillas on the grill. Go ahead, you can see they're here. As you're getting nice and warmed up. You flip these fajitas over. You can see they're actually coming out pretty good. So what I like to do is I just like to flip them over a few times here before I take them out. And what I'm going to use temporarily while I heat all of my tortillas is an actual tortilla warmer. And what I've done is I've actually placed a paper towel inside the tortilla warmer so that any excess oil will actually drain down to the bottom and you won't have a greasy or oily tortilla. So let's go ahead and take these out. And then I'm going to warm up a few more. So when we come back, we're going to show you how to actually put these together. Stay. Alrighty folks, welcome back. Our tortillas are all warmed up. Our fajitas are actually ready. We're going to go ahead and show y'all how to make a Mexican street taco. So we'll go ahead and get started by taking out 4 tortillas. And we'll go ahead and pour some fajita meat on top of these. Some right there. Some right there. A little bit there. Alrighty, so we've poured our meat. And then the next thing we're going to do is Mexican street tacos actually come with Mexican cheese. That's queso fresco. We're going to put some queso fresco right on top of these. And then usually at most taquerias they also put a little bit of diced onion, which I'm doing right here. And then some cilantro. And then, for most taquerias, they actually serve these tacos with some actual beans. So we're going to go ahead and use our ladle. And we're going to go ahead and pour some Charo beans. And there you go, folks. There is our Mexican street tacos with Charo beans. Welcome back, folks. In this episode, we're going to show you how to make a frozen, non-alcoholic virgin margarita, one that your pastor will actually approve and won't resist. So we'll go ahead and get started. with the ingredients. The very first thing you need is some Margarita mix. This you can actually purchase at your local grocery store. It comes with non-alcohol. For those of you that want alcohol, you can add that to the mix for a true margarita. But for our purposes, we're going to be doing a non-alcoholic virgin margarita. So we'll start off by actually pouring a cup of ice into the actual blender. So we'll take our Pyrex container and we'll go ahead and put a cup of ice. We'll measure about a cup of ice in the Pyrex. That's about a cup right there. We'll pour it onto the mixer, onto the blender. And then we're going to pour about 4 ounces of the margarita mix. So before you pour it, you want to be able to shake it a little to make sure everything is nice and concentrated. So we'll go ahead and pour about 4 ounces. Alright, that's about 4 ounces right there. We'll go ahead and pour that as well. The non-alcoholic version of the margarita is basically almost like a limeade. So we'll go ahead and get started here. We'll go ahead and start to mix it together. Alrighty, now that we've mixed our margarita mix, we're going to take a goblet, just like this one that I've already pre-salted. What you do is you basically take a lime and you run the lime across the edge, and then you actually put it into a plate of salt. And what you're trying to get is you're trying to get a snowy effect on the goblet. So then we take our margarita mix and we pour it onto the goblet. And there you go, folks. This is our non-alcoholic virgin margarita. Let me give it a try. Oh, it is so, so good. For those of you that are interested in the alcoholic version, what you're going to need to make this an alcoholic drink is you're going to need the margarita mix, the cup of ice, and about 4 ounces of tequila.